So the question then becomes, should you buy a house right now? Go ahead and start typing, he's a realtor, he's going to tell you to buy. The honest truth is I don't recommend you buy right now unless you have the following things. Hello everyone and welcome to another real estate video. This is Javier Vidania, the real estate YouTube guy here in Phoenix, Arizona, helping you accomplish your home goals. It's been about a few months since I made a market update, and for those who remember my quarantine videos when I had the bad haircut and I was a little freaked out about what was going to go on. It has been a few months since I made a video about this because I wanted to kind of see what happened to the market. Now, I was a little discouraged making this video again because I started doing my research on YouTube or on Google and just reading different articles and started listening to a lot of opinions on people who are way smarter than me. They know much more about financing, much more about the stock market and all this crazy stuff. But listen, at the end of the day, we all have to focus on what we're strong on. And my strength, I believe, is experience, a large amount of experience with first-time home buyers and move-up buyers, or people that are selling their house, the first, second house, to move up to another buyer. Now, if you agree or disagree with me on the information in this video, that's fine. That's your opinion. You can do that. For those who know me know that I'm always looking out for you guys. I'm never going to tell you to buy if I don't think I'm going to buy. And yes, let's get it out of the way. I am a real estate agent. For all those keyboard warriors out there down in the comment section, of course he's going to tell us to buy. He's a real estate agent. Listen, less than 1% of my audience is in Phoenix. If I was doing these videos to get more clients, I would specifically be making videos about Phoenix, Arizona. I dare you, challenge you, go look at my videos. When have I ever made a video about local area? My intention with this channel is not to get more clients. It was always to educate and help people. And if you don't believe that, then maybe you should just stop watching my videos. Gosh, I'm starting ready to fight. Before I begin, I do need to say I am very experienced in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a very, of course, every market's different. In our market, we're getting a lot of people moving out of state into the state. So if you're in a different state, of course, always check with your local realtors or lenders, see what's going on here. But if it's any semblance, I think I'm starting to hear from a lot of cities out there that it's kind of similar in your guys' state. So, but of course, always want to verify. Never just take my word for as law. This last few months, I've been pretty busy still. I was determining if, hey, am I just getting lucky and getting the amount of people that are buying, or is this an increase of just buyers in general? Immediately, I started noticing the lack of inventory. Right now, as of today, I think we're at 8,000 to 9,000 listings, which normally it should be definitely well above 10 at around this time. And on top of that, I was starting to get a lot more interest from potential buyers. And talking with my colleagues in the real estate industry, they're also getting the same impression from different buyers. There's more people, it feels like, that are wanting to buy a house right now. So what we have here is a lack of inventory, which I'm assuming is from sellers not wanting to put their house in the market due to the COVID situation, or perhaps because they just want to kind of see what's going on, just kind of test it out and wait before they make any rash decisions. And we have a large amount of buyers being incentivized to purchase. When I say you guys are being incentivized to purchase, I mean rentals are going up, interest rates are ridiculously low, and of course, I think we're in that gap of our generation where I'm a millennial. I'm only 27, believe it or not, but there's a lot of people my age and my friend group, my generation, that are now growing up and they're trying to purchase a home. They're moving into the single family space. They're getting rid of the condos or townhouse, or they're stopping renting. Some are even moving out of their parents' house and going to purchase a house. So all this has caused a perfect storm. Regardless of what's going on with COVID, there's a strong amount of buyers out in the market now, and there is a lack of inventory. So this has created what I call a super seller's market in a lot of cities. Houses have been selling incredibly fast and for a lot much more money. Is that a term? Much more money. So here's the thing though, there's always been a type of house that would sell really quick. If the house was reasonably priced and it looked very nice in the pictures and in person, then it would sell pretty quickly. But I'm used to seeing in this situation maybe 2, 3, maybe 5 offers even. If I would see 5 offers, I'd be like, wow. At most, we would see people offer 5, maybe 10K above value, and they would go that higher because they were getting something in return. They were getting closing costs. If you were paying your own closing costs, normally you would be able to buy at market value, and if only the house was really, really special or was a really, really nice city, you would go above value and pay your closing costs. That has changed now. I literally can show you screenshots right now of different situations I've seen. Houses are at least getting no more than 10 offers. I've seen 20 offers. I've seen 30 offers. There's a ton of offers being made on these properties, some even being sight unseen. Houses are selling well above their market value. We're talking 10,000, 20,000, even 30,000 above value. And to top it off, buyers are not getting their closing costs paid by their sellers anymore. Sure, there's a few houses out there that they're still able to get closing costs paid, but the majority of buyers right now for reasonably priced houses, well, actually there's no reasonably priced houses right now. There's only, let's say, nicer houses, are definitely not paying their closing costs, and they're paying in a premium for it. In looking at the numbers and the trends and seeing what's going on with houses, it feels unnatural, and it feels like houses are being inflated more than they should be. So if it looks like a bubble and it feels like a bubble, I have to say I believe we're in a bubble right now. We are in a real estate of value bubble, market bubble, whatever the freaking term is, I don't know. For those that know what a real estate bubble is essentially house prices have always traditionally have a nice little slope like this, right? There's certain positions in history where the values start kind of get inflated out of nowhere and then they crash, right? Creating like a bubble or a boil even, I don't know. It looks like a disgusting boil. So what happened in the 2000s housing market crash, houses inflated a lot in value and then they fell back down. And we eventually, I think a year, 2 years ago, we caught up to those values traditionally that we were before, but that's because we were in a steady grow, right? So houses right now being overinflated in value is definitely causing a bubble. I can't say how high we're gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna be just a little, I don't know, herpes bump, or if it's gonna be a boil that's gonna go up and then crash. So the question then becomes, should you buy a house right now? Go ahead and start typing, he's a realtor, he's gonna tell you to buy. The honest truth is I don't recommend you buy right now, unless you have the following things. Number one, you're gonna be buying a long-term house. The time of buying a house for 2 or 3 years and then selling it, personally what I've done, is gone. If you're not thinking about living in this house you're gonna be buying for the next 10 plus years, I would strongly reconsider buying right now, because here's the reality. If we don't know if it's gonna be a boil or a bump yet, so if it's gonna be a big bubble where it goes really high in value and then it falls, you're gonna have to be comfortable with your monthly payment and ride that wave. Whatever bubble bump happens, it's not gonna affect you. Why? Because you're at a fixed interest rate, you're in a reasonable payment, and guess what? Whatever happens to the value of your market doesn't matter to you because you're in this house for the long term. If you're buying a house for 3 or 5 years and expecting to sell it at the height or sell it in a few years and move up, I would have to tell you to hold on to your horses for a bit, because frankly, this whole coronavirus thing threw in a big wrench to everybody's plans. No one can foresee what will happen in the future. So it's not wise to use real estate as a solid investment right now, because we just don't know what will happen. Now, it might work out great in your favor and you might be able to sell at the top, or maybe it ends up being a little bump and we're gonna be fine and you're gonna be great. But right now, as someone who's in the educational space, who helps a lot of first-time home buyers, I can't reasonably tell you if you're looking to buy a short-term house to buy right now. My second thing is, you shouldn't be buying unless you have a really strong motivation to do so. Now, I've had people that are like, yeah, you know, I've been renting for about a year or two. I've been living with my mom and dad for a bit. I think I want to buy. I think it's time for me to buy. No, like, you should not be buying unless you're like, dude, my lease is up and my rent's going up like $300. I'm sick of living in this little place. I can afford a decent little house. I have my closing costs. Let's just go. Let's just try it out. All right. If you can secure your location for the next few years, or maybe a year, just to kind of see what happens with the market, I would advise you to do so. If you have a strong need to have to move out soon, maybe you're fighting with your stepmom because she keeps trying to parent your kids. It's not happening with me. I know that's a very particular example. Then yeah, of course, you have the motivation. You're gonna do it, and great. You know, good news is you're gonna get a great interest rate, and hopefully the first thing applies to you where you're buying a longer term house, right? So, and because this is a longer term house, you should think about what you're gonna need in the long term. Okay, so if you maybe have one kid right now and you're thinking about having another one, well then don't get a little 1-bedroom condo. You know, get a 2 or 3 bedroom. Plan for the future. You're gonna be in this house for a while. Make sure you're investing into the future. And the third thing is something I feel like should be obvious, but it might not be, so I have to say it. you should not be buying unless you have a stable, secure job and you have a pretty healthy savings. Okay, now I'm not talking about just having savings for your down payment and closing costs. I'm talking about having a separate savings with at least 1 to 3 months reserves. Because here's the reality of the situation. As secure and stable as you feel you think you are, you might not be. And I know that's being negative, but you have to plan for the worst right now. You know, the good news is if you're buying right now, your interest rate's gonna be great, you're gonna be happy. You can afford more of a house because your interest rate is going to bring your monthly payment down. So therefore, you're going to be able to get more of a house that you thought you were going to get. The God honest truth is you just don't know what might happen to your job. You just seriously don't know. You don't know what might happen to you, your financial situation. And yes, I guess this is relevant not only when you're in I was gonna say catastrophe. No, that's not the word. Pandemic. I guess it could happen anytime, right? You don't know what will happen to your job or your health. But right now, you have to just be a little more stable. If you're gonna go take the risk of buying a house and taking advantage of the interest rate, you just wanna make sure you got some kind of cushion, right? If you're in a position where you have your down payment, maybe you don't have your closing costs, and there's a realtor that's been nagging you, you should be buying right now. The interest rate is amazing right now. But if you buy right now, it's gonna leave you with absolutely no savings. You need to tell that realtor to f off, because you don't want to put your family in danger by taking the dive with a house right now, and something might happen where now you don't have an emergency savings to depend on. My final tip for you guys is going to be just be careful about the upgrades in the house. Right now, what I'm noticing, being in the matrix of plugged into the matrix of the housing market, is I'm noticing that normal upgrades like granite countertop or like nice flooring or like a fresh paint job is getting such a huge amount of inflated value that it doesn't even make sense. A house that's just a little ugly might not sell with 10 or 20 offers. It might have only a few, and you might have an opportunity to get it maybe a little cheaper than the other one, even though they're priced the same. However, in this market, if a house has a nice paint job or granite or nice backyard, it's gonna be just overinflated in value. Like it's gonna go 20, 30, 40, 50,000 above value because people see this nice stuff and they just go crazy. They're like, oh, there's gonna be 10 or 20 offers, and realtors like, yeah, there's gonna be 20 offers, make a super high offer. That's what's causing the values to be inflated, is these people making absorbent amount high offers because they have to, frankly, to get that house, because there's just so many offers. So just keep an eye on that stuff, guys. Like, the thing is, I don't know if you're a handy person or if you're into the remodeling thing, but if you're going to be buying maybe an ugly house and maybe you don't have the intention to remodel it right away, that's fine. Just be careful to not overspend or overindulge the market by buying something overinflated, because it tends to have nice features, because you might not get that money back. If you spent another 40K on top of the price to get this house, you got the house, congrats, you secured the deal. Maybe it appraised, maybe it didn't appraise, I don't know what happened there. But let's say we're in a bubble and something happens and it starts going down. You're not gonna get that money back. Not only are you contributing to the bubble and making it higher, but let's say it doesn't go higher and it goes down, you're not gonna get that money back. So now more than ever, you need to be very careful about overspending for these upgrades. All right, guys, and that's all the time we have for today. A little somber video, but I feel like making it. This video has been on my heart for the last few days. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds like I'm about to start crying. But I still think there might be a potential opportunity for those who are buying a longer term house, because if you're going to be buying a house right now, you have the need, you're able to, you're ready, willing, and able, and you're going to be buying something longer term anyways, where you're not going to move it for a while. It might be a good chance to secure a nice low interest rate. Maybe don't push your value too much, because your lender and your realtor will tell you, hey, it's low interest rate, you can qualify for more than you normally would have been, but still try to stay reasonable, because whatever happens with your house, you're gonna ride the wave, ride the bubble, and hopefully at the end of it, you make it fine. But if you don't make it, you at least got a nice secure payment with a nice low fixed interest rate. So eventually the market should catch up to the value where it needs to be, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I know you guys are already gonna do it. I know there's gonna be some negative Nancy's there, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys say in the comments below. And if listen, if you're watching this far, guys, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe if you haven't. If you happen to be looking in the Phoenix, Arizona market and you're looking for a realtor to guide you, my contact information can be found below on my website. You could also reach out to me on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, DM me there, and I can try to reach out to you and help you do a video message there. I also go live about two to three times a week, so just feel free to hit the bell button and get notified when I go live. Well, all kinds of goodies below. Just look below. Let's go. Look in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your time. Stay safe out there.